Okay, I'm calling the business meeting back into order. We've completed executive session. There's no action to report. So we will start the regular public session with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Mr. Trent, could you take care of leading us, please?
Sure.
And at the conclusion, please either stand or sit quietly for a minute, because there'll be a moment of silence and Dr. Gianni will introduce that. Okay, but the pledge first, Mr. Trent.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and
To the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible,
with liberty
and justice for all.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. It is with great sadness that I inform you of the untimely passing of a staff member. Mr. Mark Brown was a teaching assistant at Brookhaven Elementary School who supported the South Country Central School District's learning community over the past 15 years. He was also a Bellport alumni who was enthusiastic and dedicated to making a positive impact on anyone he interacted with each day. I ask that we pause for a moment of silence for Mark, with thoughts and prayers for his family.
Thank you to Mr. Brown and to his family's efforts on our behalf, and our thoughts and prayers are with them. Officially now, anybody in district office, please make note of emergency evacuation signs and know how you can get out in case of an emergency, and no smoking because we're a smoke-free school district. We next have a board consent agenda, and the first has a number of minutes on it, but given some email communication that we had, I'd like to pull the number 4 there, the minutes for our special business meeting. Pull it here so that we can get those minutes edited a bit better and then bring it back to us at our next meeting to approve. So let's just, I need a motion then to approve items C1, C2, and C3. Is Mr. Trent, second by Ms. Ancona. Discussion, all in favor? Okay, the C1 through 3 are approved. And then next we have items C5 and 6. Is there a motion to approve those items? Ms. Aruda and Ms. Felice is second. Any discussion? Seeing none, all in favor. This one is unanimously approved as well. And thank you, Ms. Felice, for donating your free pass to the continuing education project that you're going to be embarking on. And you earned that free pass from having taken other continuing education classes through the New York State School Boards Association. Okay. So next is over to you, Dr. Gianni, and I think we're going to alter the agenda a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm going to do that after a couple of brief comments, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Tonight's meeting marks 2 very important yet different milestones in one's career: tenure and retirement. The granting of tenure signifies the district's decision to make a more permanent commitment to a teacher's professional career here in South Country. And in retiring, you have completed your service to the district and you are ready to move on to all the adventures retirement brings. Normally at this meeting, we hold a lovely reception honoring our retirees and tenure recipients. We are hopeful that the return to some normalcy next year, we will be able to continue that tradition and invite those who have retired the last 2 years and received tenure as well. This evening, we prepared a virtual retirement and tenure presentation for the board and our viewing audience, which will also be posted to the district's website. For now, each of our 15 retirees came to the South Country with credentials, talent, and the potential to be successful, and they certainly have. Retirees, you have done the job very well during your time here in South Country, and you have proven your ability to be effective. Our 15 retirees have 317 years of service between them, and I thank each of you for your commitment and outstanding service to the district over the years. We wish you all the very best in your retirement, so congratulations to all. Our tenure candidates individually have far fewer years of service, and we look forward to our continued work together, watching them grow as a professional during their career. You know, teaching isn't easy, particularly over the last 15 months. But what can be more important a profession than one that shapes the minds and lives of children? It takes much time and effort to help students learn and grow. And many of our students come to us not only needing academic assistance, but social emotional needs as well. You have each demonstrated your ability to help our students learn and grow. So on behalf of the district, I thank you for all you do for our students, their families, and of course, each other. At this time, I would like to ask the board if we may move the personnel agenda up for action at this time before we proceed with the presentation.
Yes, I think if you want an official vote, I'll do it that way, or you'll just see a consensus.
No, I'll call the recommendation and then we'll move on from there.
Okay.
So administration recommends approval of personnel changes reflected in schedules H92 through H9190. I'll do that first, if you don't mind.
Is there a motion to approve
Just
H2 through H190?
no, I'm doing H92. I'm going to do that H9 one first. H92 through H9 190. So all of H92 except for the one item.
All right. Is there a motion, Mr. Trent? Yes. Second by Ms. Ancona. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? It's unanimously approved.
And I have one more. Administration recommends approval of personnel changes reflected in schedules H1 through H8 and H10 through H12. That's the remaining items.
H1 through H8 and H10 through H12. Correct?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve those items? Mr. Pacini made the motion. Ms. Ancona seconded it. Any questions or discussions? Seeing none, all in favor? Again, that is unanimous.
Thank you. And now we would like to play our virtual retirement and tenure recognition. So congratulations to all of our retirees and our tenure recipients. A special thank you to Colleen Oates Robish, our library and media specialist at Bellport High School, for putting together that presentation. And I would be remiss by not mentioning Jack Frankie. Jack, as our ex-student officio board member, has been a very active member of the student body who consistently contributed to the board meetings with both upcoming student events and sharing the students' perspective of our matters before the board. So Jack, we do certainly thank you for your service, and best of luck in college and all your future endeavors. And then I would like to announce some probationary appointments that the board did also act on in that full swoop of personnel changes that we just made. First, some new probationary appointments. Samantha Parente, Special Education Middle School. Vanessa Gordon, Special Education Frank P. Long. Dan Walsh, Special Education Middle School. Gianna Macarino, Art at Brookhaven. Rebecca Bonas, Family and Consumer Sciences, High School and Middle School. And Anna Sophia Hertes, Bilingual Frank P. Long. And I would also take the pleasure in announcing that our new high school principal for next school year will be Miss Erica Della Rosa. Erica, you may know, is currently assistant principal at the high school, and we certainly look forward to working with her and all of you. So congratulations on your appointments.
Thank you.
Okay, and I have a couple of announcements that I'll just, if I might just continue, Ms. Hayes.
Please do.
Okay, so this Saturday, as the board knows, the Suffolk County Department of Health ran a successful pod pop-up site at Bellport Middle School. County indicated they had 45 individuals that were vaccinated at the site. Far less than our survey had indicated, but the county nonetheless was happy with the results of the 45 individuals. Next, I'm happy to report, and I think, well, I know the board knows, and I know most of our community knows, that New York State and Suffolk County Department of Health has changed the mask guidance as it relates to schools. As a result, we also made that change immediately. So masks or face coverings are no longer required when outdoors on school property. Mask and face coverings are still required indoors, however. And then finally, our COVID positive reports that I generally give at our board meetings. For the community's information, as of yesterday, we have 106 faculty or staff and 316 student total COVID positive cases reported to the district. And I remind the community, those are total for the year, not current. In addition, and as of yesterday, we currently have 1 faculty or staff member and 0 students in quarantine as a result of close contact. And that is all the announcements that I have. President Hayes, I turn it back over to you.
Thank you very much. And thank you for some of those announcements. I could tell it brought smiles to many of us, and looking at the smiling faces of both the retirees and the tenure candidates was it's a nice way to start the meeting. So thank you for that. We'll do the trustee and advisory committee reports. We'll start with Mr. Trent.
Yeah, so first, I just wanted to congratulate the staff for on their retirement and those who are receiving tenure. And I just wanted to thank Mr. Frankie for your service. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Of course, since the last meeting, I have visited the middle school, and I had also attended their outdoor music festival, which was great. And I've also attended an equity and education committee meeting where we had two guest speakers who wrote the book that the committee is reading that is titled Belonging Through a Culture of Dignity. So we had a very productive discussion and the meeting was great as well. And I think that is all I have to report at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Parker? You're muted.
Again, Jack, thank you so much for being with us this past season. It's been pretty exciting. Thank you, and for your road ahead, all the best to you, my friend.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I attended last night's honorary ceremony at the middle school, and boy, was I impressed with just everything in general. It was quite. It was just. It felt good to see all those kids who worked so hard, especially during this year, to receive their honorary degrees and whatnot. And I was just very impressed. The Equities Committee, I think, is one of the most powerful committees we have this year, and I am so happy to be a part of it. There are many things that we are working on. Yes, we'll talk about all of those things a little bit later, but I just want to let everyone know that that's a powerful committee, and thanks to Ms. Doyle who heads that, and it's just great. So I won't take any more time, Ms. Hayes.
Thank you. Ms. Aruda?
I'd like to echo the sentiments of my trustees. Jack, thank you for everything. It has been a pleasure. I wish we had been able to sit next to each other a little bit more, but kudos to you. I love hearing your stories and everything that's going on at the high school. Congratulations to our retirees, all of them. 42 years in the district, Mr. Hogan. I can't even believe that. You don't look a day over 43. So kudos to you and thank you for all of your service here, not only to Mr. Hogan, but to all of our retirees and for our tenure recipients. Congratulations, enjoy. It's going to be a wonderful ride along the way.
Ms. Ancona?
I too would like to congratulate all the recipients tonight. And Jack, I wish you the best of luck in college. And I know this won't be the last that we see of you. So I'm looking forward to see what your future holds. I attended a health and safety committee meeting yesterday, and we went over the COVID numbers that Dr. Gianni presented, which has a bright future. Hopefully we'll stay on this trajectory. We went over the vaccine site, which again, Dr. Gianni touched on. The one thing that I did want to note was that we need a parent liaison. And I think I did mention this before, but they did not attend one meeting this whole year. So that is something that I would like to see posted as soon as possible. And other than that, that's it. Thank you.
Mr. Piccini?
Thank you. Yeah, congratulations to everybody. Jack, it's been a long time since the fields of Bellport Youth Football or the courts of CYO. So, but it's really great to see you and your peers graduate. And it was really fun to sit up here, even though it was virtually and not in person at the board table. So good for you, and congratulations to all your success and your future success. Congratulations again to all those retirees. You know, I could say a lot about Mr. Hogan. We don't have enough time. There's few people in education that I've come across that I admire more than Mr. Hogan. You know, an indication of him is, you know, he's in his office every Saturday and most Sundays when you drive by that building. And you'd be hard pressed to find somebody more dedicated to his profession and, more importantly, the students he serves. So Ms. De La Rosa has some very big shoes to fill. I wish I had more time because I have so many great stories about Mr. Hogan over the years, starting with the active shooter drills and all that other stuff we did. But no time for that tonight. But Mr. Hogan, you will be missed. And I'll miss standing with you on the sideline of football games and basketball games and everything else. And a big congratulations to Ms. De La Rosa. I couldn't be happier with this appointment tonight. I think Ms. De La Rosa is a wonderful person. And, you know, as she has big shoes to fill, I'm confident that she'll fill them very, very, very well. Knowing what I know about her from her time here and some of the special things she's accomplished in her personal life. I'm very happy for her. I also had the pleasure as a parent to attend the senior awards this week, and kudos to the staff at the high school. It really went off without a hitch, having 3 sessions. It certainly was hot in that gym, but boy, it was a half an hour. It was done very well and very efficiently. And I'd be remiss if we didn't thank, I don't know what the number of it is, but the community organizations and community members who donated money and scholarships to our students really can't be thanked enough. I was really impressed to just see the wide range of scholarships, and I've seen it before, but it's been a couple of years since I've attended the ceremony from our staff organizations and our community organization. It really was wonderful. Finally, all the years on the board, I don't think I've ever seen a high school yearbook until now. My son's a senior and came home with it the other night. And wow, they've changed since I was in school, but how cool and what a great job they did on the yearbook, including the really nice spreads for those that retired from the high school, including Mr. Hogan and a few other staff members. And I think they did such a nice job capturing the times and what these students went through. And I even went back through my old high school yearbook recently, and it really is a wonderful thing when you see how well they capture current events. And it's important to remember and reflect and look back on. For me, it was the first Gulf War, was my senior year in high school, and many of other things. And for these kids, it's quite a lot. It's probably more than there was my year, including a pandemic and unrest in our country and difficult times. But that's what they had. That's what they were given, and that's what they're going to grow up in. So with that, I'll shut up and move on. Thank you.
Ms. Felice.
Thank you, Ms. Hayes. Start out by saying congratulations to Mr. Hogan. I think the district is aware that he actually tried to retire last year, but when the pandemic hit, he did not want to leave our district in the lurch. He did not want to leave the family at the high school. And I think that I was impressed with Mr. Hogan the first time I met him, and that solidified my feeling for him of just the type of person that he is. When we had in-person graduations and I saw the love that was between him and the students as they came up for their diplomas, it was just a remarkable event, and we were very lucky to have him. And I agree, Miss De La Rosa has big shoes to fill, but she had a very good mentor, and I know that she'll do well for us at the high school. So congratulations to you both. Congratulations to all our new hires, to all our tenure recipients, and certainly to our retirees. You've earned it, and we appreciate everything that you have done for the district. And like many retirees, I love when I see our past retiree teachers continue to watch their students by going to concerts and going to receptions. They're still out there supporting their kids, even though they've retired. And I know we'll see more of the same. To Jack Frankie, your father was so proud of you this weekend when we were sitting with him, standing with him in the at the middle school concert, which was also a feat in itself and something to be very, very proud of. But he left, and when he left that event, he was going to watch you qualify for your flying license to whatever degree you were in at that moment. But he too was so proud, and he commended the BOCES program that you were in to avail yourself to the achievements that you have been able to do for yourself. And so it was nice to see him as a dad, see him as one of our administrators, be so proud of what you did. All of our student representatives continue to outperform the students before, and you are no exception. You are the catalyst that guided us through this pandemic because it was uncharted territories. And to have someone who was experiencing it firsthand from the classroom and guiding this board was invaluable. So I just want to thank you for that. And it's been just absolutely wonderful to know you. And I wish you all the luck in the world. Thank you.
Okay, I'm just going to say that you've all covered the thanks to our retirees and our best wishes to the new tenure candidates. And go on to Jack Frankie again and just tell you a little anecdote from last night when I attended the National Junior Honor Society induction ceremony at the middle school, and Mr. Parker was there, and also Ms. Aruda. Not only did your dad come up and talk to us, and it of course had to do with you, but one of the students who was inducted wanted to be a pilot. So the parent of that child knew me from my other life. And we were talking, and so Mr. Parker and I were able to let them know about the BOCES program and the fact that you'd just gotten your pilot's license. So you've served as a mentor now to a rising 8th grader who would like to follow in those footsteps. And it's a way to let people know what's available through this school district, lots of opportunities. I had a wonderful experience last week where I attended the Generation Citizen presentations at the middle school. This was done virtually in 2 sessions on Tuesday and Thursday. And the, again, 7th graders had their projects and they did their presentations in the PowerPoint program to show us how they identified the issue they wanted to research, the research that they did, both, you know, in looking at reading materials and in interviewing experts in the field, the way they did surveys, and they used mathematics. They incorporated it because they had to do statistical analysis to give the results of the surveys. Again, this is an example of extraordinary things that are coming out of the district, and our kids are learning how to be advocates in an appropriate way. They're able to gather facts, they're able to analyze them, to express them, to determine how you go about making your case to whatever authority you need to deal with. And some of them have already been successful. One of the topics, of course, had to do with school lunch. It's always a favorite issue to advocate for. And this particular group was successful in getting some things added to the menu that they wanted, but they'd done all the research to determine who wanted what and how it could be done. And they knew all the numbers. It was just great. Again, the Junior Honor Society program last night was exhilarating, and they divided it into 2 portions so that the students whose last names were A through L came at 7 o'clock, and then the rest of the alphabet came after the first session had concluded. But it enabled each student to be showcased. It showed their picture on the screen, and it listed what their favorite class is and what their goals are. And each student walked across the stage to get their certificate and stand in front of the audience to be inducted into the Honor Society. I also had attended a Finance and Facilities Committee meeting and a Strategic Planning Committee meeting. Not anything I need to report other than what was shown in the minutes. I had the pleasure of attending the virtual musical at the high school, the Now Hear This program. And again, that was a first for me. I've never seen anything like this. And the students were extraordinary. The voices, you know, their singing ability, just exceptional talent. And finally, the equity committee, and I won't repeat what Cameron's already said about it, or Mr. Parker, or I'm sorry, Mr. Trent or Mr. Parker has already said. But we're having another meeting, and the authors of the book will be addressing us again. So that's been a terrific experience. Okay, I think that brings us down to public commentary, and I believe,
Mr. Frankie gets
oh,
it.
Mr. Frankie, I'm so sorry. After we're all telling you how glad we are to have you here. Go, your turn.
All right, so I would first like to send my congratulations to our retirees and our new tenurees. One of our retirees, Mr. Hogan, as everyone has mentioned, is such a remarkable person, and I wish him well in his future endeavors. I'm so glad to have had the opportunity to work with him throughout my time here at Buckford High School. Additionally, I'd like to thank everyone for the kind words tonight. I have a small paragraph later, but I'll save it for the closing remarks. Starting off with my committee report, Buckford High School hosted a bunch of awesome athletes today. Athletes Helping Others, along with the Buckford High School administration, held the Special Olympic event for our life skills and 813 students. Everyone had an incredible time, and that's what it's all about. The seniors had their field day on May 25th. It was an awesome experience all around, and as a senior, I thank administration and the Board of Education for allowing us to have such an event. The Buckford High School administration, along with the senior class, is thrilled for their senior prom on Friday, June 11th from 7 to 10 p.m. at Sunset Harbor. This very social evening includes dinner, dessert, DJ, dancing, and a professional photographer. Students must show proof of a COVID-19 vaccination, a confirmed case of COVID-19 within 90 days, or proof of a PCR test within 72 hours, or a rapid test from June 11th in order to attend. In addition, Buckford High School will have rapid testing on Friday from 7:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. This testing will be available for any student attending prom. Next Wednesday, June 16th, between 10 and 12, Buckford High School invites all of our seniors for a yearbook signing event in the courtyard. This will give everyone a chance to catch up with their classmates and say their final goodbyes for graduation. Speaking of graduation, Student Council has made an Amazon wish list for our senior car parade. The wish list will be made public on Amazon, and the link will be posted throughout social media platforms later this week. Senior graduation is on June 25th, and it will mirror what took place last year, but it will give the students the opportunity to be presented with their diplomas on stage individually. I'm extremely excited to graduate, but it's also a bit bittersweet. I have grown up in this community and in the South-Country education system. It has taught me everything that I know, and I know it will serve me well in my future endeavors. Additionally, Buckford High School hosted the SAT exam on Saturday, June 5th. 200 students took the exam. Of the 200, 120 were Buckford High School students. And finally, the Buckford High School Student Council held their elections for the 2021-2022 school year. Bryn Johnson will take my position as the Student Council President. Maddie Budrus will be Vice President. Amber Gerfira will be the Treasurer. Ethan Amendola will be the Secretary, and Alexis Exum will be the Historian. I wish the upcoming Student Council Board my best, and I look forward to hearing about their ongoing achievements that I know that they will make. Thank you.
Thank you. I want to thank you again for being such a bright spot in all of our board meetings for the last year. So thank you again. Okay. Public commentary. I don't think we have any, do we, Miss Flynn?
No, we don't.
No, we
Okay.
don't, but we do have our teacher union president, Mr. White, has requested to address the board, which is a BTA contractual right. They're generally done during public commentary, so I have Mr. White in the waiting room, and I am going to bring him in at this time so he may address the board. Here he comes. Welcome, Mr. White.
How's everybody doing? So yeah, I just wanted to speak as the president of the BTA. First of all,
Just want to congratulate all the tenure recipients and those retiring. You know, this is your tenure recipients are joining, will have joined officially the South Country family, and retirees who have spent their career here, making this such a great place it is to be. So I just want to thank them as well. So as we close out the year, I want to just thank the community as a whole for just being able to adapt to this new environment that we were thrown in for the last 15 months. And I would definitely like to give a shout out to all the BTA members that I represent, who pretty much had to start from scratch, from step one, and adapting to this new environment. So this year, this 15 months, and all educators were first year educators, no matter how many years you had in. We were all rookies in dealing with this. And we did what we could possibly do to educate our community's kids and keep them safe. So I just want to say how proud I am of my members for all the hard work they did make and try to make this seem as normal as possible to our students, even though this was far from a normal time period. And I want to thank the parents out in South Country as well for their understanding and patience through all of this. So with that, I am asking administration, which I asked before, and the board as well, to do whatever you can possible so that we do not lose these great teachers that we had during this pandemic. These teachers have done amazing things in the classroom and outside of the classroom as well. And we want them to make sure, we want to make sure that they stay with us for the long haul, if at all possible. I do understand that you as the board have a fiscal responsibility to the community, but just please do what you can to keep as many teachers that we can here in the district for next year in order to prevent any learning loss from this year. I know, and speaking with Dr. Gianni, I know that you're doing everything you can, but I just wanted to express it for my members who have worked so hard to make a difference in this district. And finally, I just wanted to share news that is both personally and professionally exciting, but it's somewhat bittersweet. So on July 12th, I will assume a new position of Director of Social Justice for the state. As most of you are aware, especially on the Equity Committee, increasing equity and inclusion has been a focus of my work throughout the entirety of my career. And it is for this reason I am honored and grateful to be able to devote myself to this work full time at a scope that will impact not just South Country, but every district and geography within New York State. However, I must say that South Country is and will always be my family. I began teaching here in 1999, and since that time, I've taken great pride in educating the students in this district, leading the Bellport Teachers Association for the past 10 years, and crafting initiatives which work towards the goal of ensuring that our community has access to an educational system that benefited everyone. I will definitely miss all of the staff, students, and families with whom I've had the privilege to work. And even as I transitioned into this new position, I will continue to be available to support the great work our school district has done. And so I just wanted to personally say thank you to each and every person who has helped me shape my growth and contributed to my success during my time here. And please know that these relationships that I cherish and I intend to continue as I forge this path on to a new profession. So I always look forward of being a part of South Country School community, and just thank you for your time.
Yeah,
Thank you, Wayne.
thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good luck. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to items to discuss.
Let's see. That is correct.
Okay. So our first item for discussion this evening is AP seminar presentation. Ms. Doyle, along with Ms. O'Hagan, Mr. Bishop, and Ms. Fair Thompson, and two of our students will be presenting to the board. Let me get these folks in to our meeting along with our students. And so they connect. And Ms. Doyle is going to begin the presentation and introductions. So once she's connected and everyone's connected, I'll ask her to begin. And I think everybody's there except for Alexandria. And there she is. Okay, Ms. Doyle.
Thank you, Dr. Gianni. Good evening, members of the Board of Education, South Country community. Thank you for having us here this evening. I'm very excited for you to see what our students and teachers of the AP seminar class will present this evening. They presented at the Teaching and Learning Committee, and we were all very impressed with the work that they produced. AP seminar endeavors to develop and practice skills in research, collaboration, communication, and our students really have demonstrated that. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to our Director of Humanities, Ms. Jackie O'Hagan.
Good evening. Thank you, Ms. Doyle. Thank you to the Board of Education. Thank you, Dr. Gianni, for your incredible support of our AP Capstone program. As you know, this is our first year. It's an exciting year of AP Seminar. We have some incredible guests here today, our very own students in AP Seminar, Alexandria and Caitlin. So we're really excited to hear them present today. And they're incredible teachers, Mr. Bishop and Ms. Fair Thompson, who have just done an amazing job this year and has worked tirelessly on making sure this course has been so successful. So we're really excited to present some of our work that is happening in AP Seminar. So I'm going to share our screen. Okay. Everybody see it okay? Perfect. Okay. All right. Mr. Bishop and Ms. Fiera Thompson, I'm just going to ask that you kind of talk about some of the topics that your students have been doing in their team presentations and individual presentations.
Good evening, Dr. Gianni and Ms. Doyle and Ms. O'Hagan and all board members. I want to thank you all for allowing us to present some of the fine work that our students have done this school year. If you can draw your attention to the screen, I have created some hyperlinks on this slide presentation. The first hyperlink is a rundown of some of the group projects that we were able to complete this school year. What's unique about this list is these students came together in small group and they created these research questions on their own. So they're a really great reflection of some of the thoughts and concerns that our students have in the world today and some of our issues in society that they'd like to work towards changing. As you can notice, according to the screen, there's a few research questions that were centered around the COVID-19 pandemic. And some of our students had some very interesting takes on what the COVID pandemic has affected the lives of teenagers and young adults in our community and in our world during these past 15 months. Some other interesting topics that the students had approached and broached in their research topics and questions were poverty, socioeconomic differences, questions of equity. All of these were self-generated questions, and we were very proud to see some of the focal points and social questions that our students developed during this first part of their AP performance tasks. So they did a great job with their research and they did a fantastic job presenting these issues along with very viable solutions for the problems that they saw in our society today.
Thank you, Mr. Bishop.
Thank you.
Okay. So we now, oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Fair Thompson. Go ahead.
Going to also add the second link in that that slide, yes, right there. that would be their individual topics that they chose. So the first task would be team, the second task would be individual, based around the AP Capstone stimulus packet. This year it was centered around sports. However, there were so many different ideas within the packet. Students chose things ranging from equity in terms of gender and race. That was a big one. Mental health was another one. And they did a great job with the individual presentations as well.
Thank you, Ms. Fair-Thompson. Okay, so we now have a video that our very own AP Seminar students created about their experience in AP Seminar that they wanted to show you.
After taking a whole year of AP Seminar, I can say with great confidence that this class has not only taught me how to properly cite sources and evidence, but it's also taught me the great value of stating those sources' credibility. Both of those skills will definitely help me in my future in college. And yes, I definitely say that this class has helped me become a stronger writer, researcher, and presenter. Throughout all of the practice and comfortable environment set by my teachers, we got tons of practice. Just some other things I learned in class include proper MLA bibliographies and works cited pages, and proper presenting etiquette such as correct diction and gesticulation.
Seminar has prepared me for my academic future by showing me how to gather scholarly sources and has helped me become a better presenter by building confidence. Okay, so after taking a full year of the AP Seminar course, I can say it has definitely prepared me for my academic future by teaching me a lot of essay writing skills and presentation making skills, which I think will definitely benefit me in college and even in my career in later life. And overall, this class has helped me become a stronger writer and researcher because it has taught me how to find valid and credible evidence and then evaluate that evidence and use it in a way that really elevates an essay or an argument.
I really liked taking AP Seminar this year, and I think that definitely coming out of this class, I'm now a stronger researcher, writer, and presenter. With research, I feel like I just know now how to look for and where to find like scholarly articles and scholarly journals and things like that. And I learned how to like really focus on credibility and realizing how like that's really important, which then made my writing better because I was using things that were like good, strong research, which would make my point clearer and like it made me learn how to better like argue my opinion or like my side or lens that I was using. And then I became a better presenter after taking this class just because we did a lot of presentations, like more than other classes. And so I just kind of got used to it. And I sort of learned through like the like final presentations that we did, how you don't need to include every single piece of information that like you researched in your essay for you to still like get your point across, and how you can kind of narrow down into one specific topic from your essay. And that can just be what your essay is about, to make sure that you really present the point well instead of presenting a bunch of points not as well.
Alright, hi. I feel like that while I was taking this class, it has helped my academic future because it has helped prepare me for college. Also, I feel like which has led to less and less procrastination. And I do believe that by taking this class, it has also helped me prepare what I'm taking next year. While I was taking this class, I feel like I was able to become a better researcher by finding credible sources, and I feel like this class has also helped me with my presentation skills by becoming a better public speaker.
This year, this class is preparing me for my academic future with learning how to do the citations, like the bibliography and in-text citations, because I know that in our papers, like all types of papers in the future, especially in colleges, we're going to have to do that, as well as that ties into how to research, like using the databases and stuff. And I think like the due dates already like set in stone since like very early in the year also helped me build a timeline of when to do my work, even though I still kind of procrastinated throughout the year. It made me want to not procrastinate ever again because it was very stressful, but I still managed to get it done. That's also something this class taught me to do, to manage to get things done even if in short periods of time.
Taking this class has made me a better researcher because it helped me learn how to find credible sources that are relevant to the topic I'm discussing. And it helped me become a better presenter because we did a lot of practice presentations, which made me more comfortable with the idea of speaking to a large group of people.
This class has prepared me for my academic future by teaching me important skills and also helping me improve on other skills that I will use in future classes and maybe future jobs. These skills, such as learning new academic phrases and words, learning how to cite sources, organize research, develop an argument, manage time and follow deadlines, and more, have helped me become a stronger writer and researcher. This class has also helped me with presentation skills, such as keeping the audience engaged and not putting too much information on the slides, and more.
This class has helped me prepare for my academic future by teaching me how to build up an argument and a line of reasoning that is spurred by credible and reliable sources that relate to the main argument. It also has taught me how to evaluate my sources for their credibility, reliability, and also this can be useful when I'm researching for an essay in the future.
Okay, so after finishing this year of AP seminar, I fully believe that it has prepared me for my academic future in college and even further into my future as well. It's taught me, the do's and don'ts of research and sources and citations, as well as writing and paragraph and essay structure, and has also made me a stronger writer in general. When it comes to presentations and research, I think I have learned many valuable skills related to techniques and efficiency. So yeah, this class overall has definitely been one of my favorites, I must say. And I think it's given me, as well as my peers, a step up into our academic futures. This class has taught me a variety of things. The crafty activities my teachers, Mr. Bishop and Ms. Thompson, had implemented significantly enhanced my presentation and researching skills. Ultimately, I've become more creative in presenting to others and feel more empowered to positively impact listeners and readers in the future. I would advise this class's students who aspire to become public speakers, researchers, or writers, mainly because they would learn to identify credible sources and will gain or strengthen their ability to analyze text and talk about their subject through different lenses. These are important skills for any upcoming author or speaker to possess because it gives them stronger arguments and sensible reports. I now more than ever feel prepared for my upcoming years of high school and college, and I thank my teachers, Mr. Bishop and Ms. Thompson, for the wonderful time that we've had together.
So thank you so much, Mr. Bishop and Ms. Fiera Thompson, for putting these great student testimonials together. And thank you to your students for doing this amazing work. And it was so great to hear from them. We're going to turn it over to our wonderful guests, our students. And our first student up is Alexandria. So Alexandria, if we could just ask you to kind of talk about some of the work that you've been doing in AP seminar specifically. Maybe you want to choose one of these topics or presentations to talk about.
Hi, my name is Alexandria Lukowski, and for my first essay of the year, which was our group one, I decided, as a group, we decided to talk about how the pandemic has affected children's livelihoods. And I specifically focused on how that impacts their accessibility to wellness, so like healthcare and food access. And for my second one, which was for my individual one, I talked about occupational gender segregation and how that's related to women's attrition from male-dominated fields. Throughout the year, we learned and practiced how to analyze and break down sources and apply credibility to them, and also how to cite sources. We learned how to write academic papers and also build our presenting skills. This class has really helped me to become a better writer, and I can visibly see my progress throughout the year, from my first essay to my last two final ones that I submitted. Something that I've always had a hard time with was putting my thoughts into words in coherent sentences and actually depicting what I want to say. And this class has really helped me with that. And these skills are also reflected in my other classes like AP World History, where we have to write and analyze sources all the time. And all of the skills I learned, like citing using MLA format and researching, are all important for my future courses, and especially in college. This class has allowed me to learn more about topics and issues I'm interested in, like the two that I chose here. These two topics are something that are things that are important to me and are also very relevant. And so I'm glad I got to do further research into how our current reality is affecting children and people like me and my fellow classmates. And I like that we had a lot of freedom with the topics we were allowed to pick. And this class involves a lot of individual and group work, which is different from many of my other classes, but was something that I enjoyed because of the freedom and that it was mostly student-led and you could work at your own pace. Although this class takes time and dedication, it's satisfying to see your progress and how you've improved throughout the year in researching, writing, and presenting. And even though I was fully remote this year, and obviously there were communication barriers and I couldn't present in person or work closely with my classmates, I was still able to learn and challenge myself. And I'd advise any students taking this course next year to not be intimidated by it and to plan out and use your time well, which will make the work much less stressful and more easier. And I know most of my classmates would agree that this course has been very insightful and helpful for our future academic careers, and I hope more students will take it next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandria. Your voice is so important and we are so inspired by you. Incredible work. Thank you so much. Okay, and our next AP seminar student, Caitlin.
Hi, I'm Caitlin Foley. For my team presentation, we talked about how trends in oceanic pollution have led to struggles in fixing the problem of oceanic pollution. And personally, my essay was about the political and historical context of this issue. So I sort of went into like the origins of oceanic pollution and how it being ignored at the start has led to it now becoming a bigger problem. And for my individual presentation, for our mock, which was the sample one that we did closer, like further in the beginning of the year, I talked about how Americans display altered perceptions of minorities. And I talked about things such as racism and xenophobia and how Americans tend to show implicit bias towards people of other cultures and races. And then my other one, which was the one that was for College Board, I talked about how negative stereotyping of women and their abilities in sports has led to a gender pay gap in these sports. So that is what my essay was on. When I first heard about this class, I had no idea what it was going to be. I didn't really have any like expectations. I just knew that it was going to be a lot of writing. And I generally tend to be a strong writer, but I think that this year has really boosted my abilities when it comes to my writing skills because I've learned how to find good research, and now I can find it a lot faster, which allows me to just get my thought process going a lot more efficiently. I think the way that we learn to research this year is different than I've learned to research previously in my other years of English. And I think that the way that we learn to find scholarly journals and using databases has helped me to really find reliable and trustworthy sources that I know are giving me accurate information. I think it's important that we're learning about such major and relevant issues in this class, and the fact that we are able to do our own research and we're able to formulate our own opinions based on the research that we decide to do. So like, for example, in my essay about altered perceptions of minorities, we tend to look at things through lenses. And so I did multiple lenses, and like those lenses helped me to be able to formulate my own opinion about it based on the separate research rather than the issue as a whole, which can tend to be a little bit too much information at once. Another thing also that I learned from this class was time management, because this class gives us a lot of independence, and sometimes that can either very much hurt you or very much help you. And I think that it's helped me because like Alexandria said earlier, there's strict deadlines and you have to get things in before those deadlines. So you have to learn to pace yourself, or else you'll end up being really stressed out when you're doing things last minute. So yeah, I think that it's important that we got the independence to research what we wanted to research, but also with that came the independence of getting it done in time. Yeah, so thank you.
Incredible work, Caitlin. Thank you so much. Thank you for your voice. Thank you for your inspiration. We're very, very proud of you. We're proud of you both. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and just wanted to kind of open it up to any comments or questions you have for our amazing students and teachers, Ms. Thompson or Mr. Bishop.
Yep.
I have a question for Caitlin. Caitlin, have you regarding any topics that you've picked to research, has your research changed the way you originally thought about the topic, or has it fundamentally been the same?
I think especially with my essay about altered perceptions of minorities, I didn't realize how, like, obviously racism and xenophobia and judgment towards other people is a really prevalent issue. But I think that once it was broken down into like the way it affects people economically and socially and culturally and ethically, like breaking it down into all of those subtopics sort of made me see like the importance of how it affects every single branch of our society and how it's an important issue. And also in our essays, we talk about possible solutions. So I think looking at it from each of those lenses helped me to formulate better solutions to these problems. So yeah, I think my thinking did change as like me thinking deeper into the problem.
And do you also think about solutions to the problems that you research?
I think with some of the issues that I researched, it's sort of difficult to think of solutions simply because a lot of the solutions just have to do with people's mindsets and awareness and education and all that stuff. So like for my project about women's pay gap, there is the solution of fixing the pay gap, but once again, it's such a big problem and it's always been a problem. So some of the solutions can tend to be unrealistic just because it's just the way that society has been rooted. So I think thinking into the solutions was a really difficult process, at least for me, just because it was so hard to think of ones that could actually be put into place eventually. So yeah.
Thank you.
Your topic about female attrition from women who are in male-dominated professions. Can you tell us a little bit about what your conclusions were from your research there?
So I initially looked at occupational gender segregation. So, the trend of women and men dominating different fields. And like, obviously one of the major causes of that is women leaving male dominated fields. So I looked at the relationship between those two phenomenons, and I came to the conclusion that they almost reinforce each other. Like when women leave, they're creating more gender segregation, but gender segregation causes women to leave. So it's like a cycle or a pattern. And that's what that was my conclusion basically for that one.
Thank you. Any other questions? I think that there was a presentation done also, I think, at the Teaching and Learning Committee. So we saw some of the other presenters with regard to those projects. And I would say from that presentation and the ones tonight, and also in speaking to the two of you, this seems like an incredible opportunity. And I'm glad to hear that you've been so enthusiastically responding to what's been offered. And I hope that, that gives you the stimulus to move forward from this and be open to challenging yourself as you move on in your education and your careers. I'm also glad because I think my understanding is that there were 2 sections of the capstone program this year, and there's going to be 5 next year. Is that
It's an increase.
or
Yes, we have 5 sections this year.
Okay. So thank you to everybody for that.
Ms. Solis?
Thank you. And just to echo the comments that were already made, congratulations to our students. The #1 fear of public speaking, you have also met and achieved with this project. So congratulations there. I'm sorry Mr. Hogan's not here to also take his bow, because I know he worked very hard with Ms. O'Hagan when you traveled from school to school, looking at other programs and deciding what would be best here in Bellport. And I mentioned, was it at the last Teach and Learn Committee? I think it was at the last Teach and Learn Committee that a mini conference I had attended for the New York State School Board Association was advocating this capstone program. And I was so pleased that we were ahead of the curve already with having our first year implemented, and look forward to seeing more of the same and the wonderful topics that you have chosen. So kudos to all of you for the hard work that you did. And thank you, Ms. Doyle, for jumping in and just picking up where they left off, because it was such a worthy program to see get off the ground. And I'm happy all of you came together to do it. Thank you.
Yes, thank you all. Alexander, Caitlin, takes a lot of courage to get up and speak in front of a bunch of people. And believe it or not, you're speaking a lot in front of a lot more than you actually think. You see a few people on the tiles, but we probably have a couple hundred people watching us as well. So congratulations, you all did a great job. Thank you so much to Mr. Bishop and Ms. Fair Thompson for your stellar implementation of the program. Clearly, we're off to a great start. And certainly Ms. O'Hagan, Ms. Doyle, for your leadership in bringing it to fruition and making sure we continue to grow. So thank you all. Any other questions on behalf of the board for our group? Okay, thank you again. Good night.
Thank
everyone.
you.
Thank you very much.
Great job.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Have a good rest of your night.
Okay,
Yeah,
thank you.
thank you. Good night.
Good night.
We will pop that. Okay, it looks like everybody's gone. Okay, it's beautiful. Okay, our next item for discussion this evening is public relations. This year, as the board knows, we formed a website committee who met throughout the school year with a focus on cleaning up the website and making it user-friendly for all families. I think they did a nice job at that in that regard. Their focus next year is going to be to explore a new and improved website options. So we do more to follow in that regard. There's also been some conversation regarding public relations and how we may be able to improve it. So whether we hire a full-time public relations person dedicated to South Country, or we even go in another direction. So I placed this item on the agenda simply so the board could to begin to have a discussion and guide administration in the direction that the board may want to go with regard to public relations. I have nothing else in terms of to share, just hopefully able to begin a conversation.
Could I ask you, though, to give us a little history, because I think the topic probably has come up before with regard to whether to have the website hosted outside the district, and what other services would be rendered by the folks that do the website. You know, how are they handling any public relations work that we have versus a system where we do it all in-house. Has this been tried in-house before, or has it always been outside?
Well, I think in the very beginning, we did it in-house, but a rather poor job at it. We had when I got here, we had a website that was designed under, I believe, Front Page, which was pretty bad. We were handling public relations through articles written by administrators, directors, teachers, and we were just pushing them out that way. We recognized that when I first got here, and we redesigned the website pretty quickly, and began also increasing the output of articles that were being written. But at that time, we did not have Syntax do that. So we started with the website, and then we discussed hiring a PR person full-time. However, that board was not at that point willing to support that. I don't remember how long ago that was. That had to be 3 years ago. I see Ms. Felice raising her hand. I think she was on the board. It was some time ago. So we chose to go with Syntax, who has done compared to what we have had, a stellar job, much better job. Obviously, the last 15 months has been a little difficult because Syntax has not been in the buildings as much as they had been in the past. So I'm sure you have seen some of our coverage drop off. Is there another level that we could get at a Syntax? That I'm not sure. I would have to research that, and I think that's what the website committee is also looking at. I'll tell you, if we moved from the website that we're using to a more robust website, Syntax isn't that, right? So Syntax is, I think, what it's called. And I know Ms. Ancona is on the committee. She may have the terminology better than I. It's more of a template-driven website, whereas if you go to a more robust one, it's more free-form, and it's not a simple change, right? Part of our problem with the current website is we have a lot of folks feeding into it, different buildings, Syntax articles, which led to a lot of old stuff on it. We don't have a dedicated person making sure that it's clean and stays clean. Obviously, having your own dedicated person for public relations, someone that knows the community, that promotes the community here, I believe would be best. Someone who could be assigned the website as well. I haven't even thought about seeing if that person exists. But I think the question to the board is what do you want? Are you interested in looking at a full-time person that could manage your website, your news releases, your social media presence, and all of those things, or you want to try to get a step up of what we got? And I see a lot of hands going, so
I'm
gonna let you take over.
I think I saw Miss Felice, Mr. Trent, Miss Ancona, and Miss Aruda in that order.
All right, then I'll start, because yes, I was on the board when we first explored hiring a full-time PR person. There was pushback from the community. There was some resistance from board members. I was in favor of going more in the direction of PR, simply because, well, not simply, but because of many reasons. Number one, when you look at your real estate grade on selling homes, South Country gets poor grades. We are talking about enrollment. We're talking about declining enrollment. We don't really know why we have a declining enrollment yet. We do know we have a lot of families that move into this district, but they send their children to private school. So is it because they are not learning enough about our district and the wonderful opportunities we have here because of the lack of PR, or is it something else? So I think we have to look at it in a multi-pronged approach as to the needs of PR, because it can only make things better. And that, so I just want to put that out there. One of the other drawbacks we had to hiring a full-time person, if we went with an employee from a civil service list, you're limited in your talent pool as to who came before you, because it was by test, and whoever scored highest on the test didn't necessarily mean that they're going to be the best candidate for the job. And Dr. Gianni did interview, and he did bring several candidates to the board, which were not to the liking of the board. And that's where we decided to go to an entity that could give us more of what we wanted. And certainly if we should explore Syntax, because I think what they have done has helped. If they are capable of doing more, we should learn about what that is to consider it. And if they're not, then we should look elsewhere. But not knowing this conversation was going to come up in this degree, I'm happy to hear it.
Mr. Trent, you were next up.
I didn't have any comments, but I guess I would just say that I would prefer to have someone in-house who leads our PR, and I would be comfortable with remaining with Syntax as far as the website is concerned.
Next, right?
Yes.
So the website committee did pursue and look into other websites, other companies. But right now, because of budgetary concerns, we put it on the back burner until next year. And I don't, listen, I know we can help with it. We need help with our PR. I would rather assign that to somebody who's already in our community, in our buildings, only because we just access teachers. Like, how do we have money for this position and we don't have money for a website, which more people utilize than you even realize? I mean, as a parent for, with a kid in this district for the past 10, 12 years, whatever it's been, that the website, although it's improved over the years, it's still not up to par with the other districts. It's very hard to follow. I mean, I was on there the other day trying to find announcements, and it took me 20 minutes, and then I gave up. And that's, me that knows where they should be. So I really would be interested in seeing what other developers have to offer. And at this time, due to budget concerns, I have no interest in hiring anybody for that position, as much as we could use it. And I just think that we could utilize people we already have in the position to boost our online presence and what's going on good in our community and in our district.
Ms. Aruda.
To echo some of the sentiments, when we're talking about accessing teachers, and we're talking about PR, but ultimately, who knows better what's happening in our schools but our teachers? I propose an idea of putting a teacher on special assignment and reinstating at least one position, putting it out to our faculty as a position of a teacher on special assignment that would go from school to school, because frankly, nobody knows what happens in our schools better than our teachers do. So I just want to put that out to the board.
That's an interesting concept, because one one reason I'm glad to have this on the agenda to open up the discussion is to explore what can we do better, because you know, when we give our trustee reports, our committee reports, and we mention things that we've gone to and we've observed, and like my own feeling when I did my report today about how excited I was about some of the achievements of the students within our buildings. I've been really excited about it. I'd like to have it conveyed, and I don't know how to do it. It's like I don't have a solution. I just have a sense that something needs to be done. And by having someone who knows the buildings, who knows the community, be able to do articles or somehow get the word out, I think that would help a lot. I also think I would like to get more information about reviewing the contract that we have with Syntax to see, you know, what services they do provide, and maybe get information about what other services, you know, they may have like a menu of things that are available, and maybe we're not taking advantage of what we could take advantage of. So I think at this point, I would like to gather some more information to see what we can do to improve the situation. I'm getting a sense from the board that the board is open to exploring other availabilities, you know, how to do things better. Is that a fair, am I reading the room right at this point? Okay, so Dr. Gianni, if we could just get some more information, you know, about what is available through our current source, and we can give some more consideration to ways to do it.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, the next item for discussion this evening is consideration to modify a reopening plan. Quarantine guidance has changed, and we need to update our plan to reflect current guidance. I have actually cut and pasted that guidance, which is directly from CDC in Suffolk County, in board docs for you for your review. And as a result, administration recommends that modification to reflect the CDC and Suffolk County Department of Health quarantine guidelines.
Okay. So is there a motion to approve the administration recommendation to modify our reopening plan to reflect current CDC and Suffolk County Department of Health guidance on quarantine? Got two hands up at once. Ms. Aruda made the motion. Mr. Trent seconded. Is there any question or discussion? I see none. So all in favor of approving this. It's unanimous. There are 6 of us here now. I think Mr. Pacini had to leave, I believe.
Okay. 6.
Okay, so that one's approved.
Okay, thank you. Our next item for discussion is the second reading of Board Policy 7530, Child Abuse and Maltreatment. This is a policy revision. The policy has been revised by our policy provider to reflect a bill signed by the governor related to child abuse. As you know, strategic planning and council have both reviewed and approved the revision. This is our second reading, so I offer this for the board's action and adoption.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the policy 7530 on child abuse and maltreatment? And that's Ms. Felice made the motion. A second, Ms. Ancona. Any questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor. All 6 members present have agreed to that, so that one is approved.
Thank you. Our next item for discussion is the second reading of policy 8140, equity, inclusivity, and diversity in education. As the board is aware, this is the new policy that was developed by our Equity and Education Committee and also reviewed by Strategic Planning and District Council. I offer this draft for the board's review, second reading and adoption.
Right. So is there a motion to approve policy 8140, the equity and inclusivity in education for adoption? Mr. Trent, and second by Ms. Aruda. Questions or discussion? Mr. Trent.
Yes, I just wanted to echo what Dr. Gianni said. This is a product of the Equity Committee, and I am very pleased with the equity policy. And I want to just say I look forward to more things coming out of the Equity Committee pretty soon.
Okay. No other questions or discussion? So all in favor of adopting this policy? I see all 6 board members have voted to approve it. So that one is also approved, Dr. Gianni.
Okay, thank you. That's all the items for discussion. Shall I move on to curriculum?
Please do.
Administration recommends approval of curriculum items reflected in schedules G1 and G2.
Is there a motion to approve items G1 and G2? Ms. Ancona made the motion. Mr. Trent, second. Questions or discussion? Seeing none, all in favor. 6 members are in favor, so that is approved.
Moving on, administration recommends business items reflected in schedule I1 through I23. I believe it's 20, correct?
Let's see, since you have a question mark, it
Yes,
sounded like at the end of your
23,
statement.
23.
It is, okay. Is there a motion to approve business items I1 through I23? A motion by Ms. Felice, and it's second by Mr. Parker. Any questions or discussion? Mr. Trent?
Yes, I just wanted to double check that item I-21 is the board pulling money out of the reserves.
Yeah, that is the actual item that you voted on for the budget when we adopted the budget. Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So no further questions or discussion? All in favor? All 6 board members have approved this, so this motion also passes.
Okay, and as you recall, we did personnel earlier, so that is all the items I have for you this evening.
All right, and just to check with Ms. Flynn, I don't think there's any public commentary on non-agenda items.
No, I have none. Thank you.
Okay, so now we're to closing remarks by board members, and I'm going to start with Jack Frankie because he promised that he had something to read, right?
Yes, so Dr. Gianni, Madam President Ann Hayes, fellow board members, and the South Country community, I would like to thank you all for the opportunity to report as a student representative this year. Not only did I gain a deeper understanding and respect for my school and community, but I obtained life memories and knowledge, which I will use for my future endeavors. South Country has offered me so many things, including the chance to attend Eastern Suffolk BOCES in a professional pilot program. As I head off to Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona Beach in the fall to study aviation business administration, I will always keep the South Country community in my heart and in my mind. Throughout this year, we've had unprecedented challenges in which we truly persevered. When I first took the position in the beginning of the school year, I was a terrible public speaker, and I was extremely nervous. Now, I'm always still nervous, but it's safe to say that I've become a better public speaker and a better rounded person because of it. Once again, I want to thank you for the opportunity. And who knows, maybe one day I'll come back and serve the community as a trustee on the board. But until then, I wish you all the very best.
Oh,
Jack, congratulations.
Congratulations, Jack. That was
Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you for sitting with us, because I think you've taught us just as much as we've taught you.
Thank you.
We're all proud, Jack. Thank you. Okay, how about Miss Ancona?
I did have a question for Dr. Gianni. Can you verify, did we receive confirmation if there's going to be the free lunch program is going to extend for next year?
I think it has. I'm not sure. Can I get back to you in the update?
Yeah, no problem.
I believe it has, but then I saw something that's making me question it. I don't know if it was summer though.
Okay, great. Thank you. And this summer, are we going to be providing anything, or is there going to be an obligation to provide any?
That's the piece that I think is in question.
Okay.
Let me get back to you.
Let the community know before.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, great. And this, I just want to confirm, this is our last meeting for the school year, right? So I just want to, again, congratulate Frank, Mr. Frankie, and all the graduating seniors and all the kids that are moving up to the new schools. I know that it's been a hard year, and I appreciate everything that the teachers and the students and the parents adapted to and had to go through. And I hope that September looks completely different than it is right now. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. So I just hope everybody enjoys their summer. And that's it. Have a great night.
Thank you. Miss Aruda.
I want to once again thank Mr. Frankie for sitting on the board with us this year. It has been very pleasurable having you with us. I want to congratulate the class of 2021. I'm looking forward to being there with you at your graduation. And to all of our students that are going to be enjoying summer coming up. It definitely has been a challenging 2020-2021 school year, not only for our students, but for students across the entire world. And you should be very proud of yourselves. We've overcome obstacles that not a single one of us adults have ever had to overcome. So to our children, kudos to you for doing an amazing job.
Thank you. Miss Felice.
Thank you. Just quickly, I did attend a safety seminar sponsored by the New York State Education Department and the Safety Council to learn how emergency response plans are developed and the intense work that goes into them. It was 2 half-day seminars. This work usually takes place in the Health and Safety Committee, and I never quite understood what went into putting together that cumbersome document. So that's why I was interested in taking this course. And now I did see it, and it's to prepare for those events that we hope never happen. And certainly COVID became a part of it, and something that we never ever anticipated. So again, hats off to the committee for coming with our plan year after year. And thank you to the board for allowing me to sit in on this particular class. And certainly to all of our faculty, staff, students, parents who put their all into this district to make it better than the year before. We have a number of committees that parents can serve on. I know Ms. Ancona made an appeal for a parent to serve on one of the committees she serves on. I think it was Health and Safety. And there are other committees as well. I want to apologize for missing strategic planning this week. I had a scheduling conflict, and I didn't realize my previous appointment was going to go over so long, and so I missed that meeting. And I need to apologize to the Teaching and Learning Committee that I will not be able to attend tomorrow night's meeting. So if there is any other board member who would like to attend the Teach and Learn Committee, there'll be one less board member there. So if you'd like to attend, you can. And
I'm also not attending. I did let Ms. Doyle know, so there will actually be 2 board member spots in there. And I wanted to interrupt you, but I did want to let Ms. Doyle know. So if there is anybody that would like to attend tomorrow, I have a work obligation that I'm not able to attend.
Okay, all right. So then, you know, and I will fill in for someone if you ever have a need and I have the availability. But if there's someone who at least can fill in for us, that would be appreciated. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you.
Well, I'll be there. I will be there. As you
You'll be
know,
there as
I've been attending various committee meetings as an ex officio member. And the only ones I can't attend are when there are 3 other board members present. So at least we'll have some ears after tomorrow's meeting.
All right, thank you.
Okay. I would just like to sum up and say that it's the end of what has been a grueling year. And it's been grueling, I think, for everyone at all levels. But we've had extraordinary efforts by so many people. Clearly, our faculty, our staff, our maintenance departments, our security personnel, our district office staff, our administrators, our board members, but most importantly, our students, because they are the ones who have shown the drive to prevail and to get through what has needed to be gotten through. And they've persevered and they have excelled in so many ways. You know, we saw the presentation tonight as an example, and some of the other year-end programs that have been going on have just been extraordinary examples of students' performance and dedication and growth. And some of the lessons that they're learning are going to benefit them for the rest of their lives, and that they may not have been lessons that had been put out in a curriculum somewhere, but to hear the students talk about what they've learned from their experience, you know, they're going to have the resources they need in order to be successful in life as they go on. And I am very grateful that I've been able to be a part of this district, not just for the last year that we're talking about, but the last couple of years in this capacity, along with my other board members, because I think it's looking at what the students have achieved that gives us such a reason for the service that we want to provide to our community. We want it to be better. We want our kids to have opportunities that aren't limited by circumstances. And it's going to be really interesting. I'm going to ask Jack Frankie and many of your colleagues, please let us know how things are out there, and give us an update from time to time about how your preparation through the Bellport system has enabled you to be successful in whatever you do in the future. So I want to thank everybody. We're going to look forward to the next year. This is our last meeting. And before we look forward to the next year, let's enjoy the next few weeks leading up to graduation and all the other year-end celebrations. So Dr. Gianni, thank you for your administrative leadership throughout this. It's been like steering through, I don't know, a current with riptides coming in at times, but we've gotten out the other end of that, and we're moving forward. And I thank everybody for enabling this to happen. So again, thank you for your efforts. How about the motion to adjourn? Mr. Trent's got the motion. And I've got a second from Ms. Aruda, and I don't see any questions or discussions about this one. So all in favor, it's unanimous.